Okay. Good evening, everybody. I'd like to open the meeting. Mr. Karate.
Okay, roll call. Mr. Raccomando?
Present.
Ms. Morelli?
Present.
Ms. Ainello?
Present. It's not working.
Here. Here.
Mr. Laurentino?
Present.
Ms. Mahoney?
Here.
Mr. Scherer?
Here.
Ms. Torbic?
Present.
Ms. Traverso? Ms. Ottarelli?
Here.
Okay, please stand for the flag salute. I pledge allegiance
To the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Okay. Adequate notice of this meeting has been sent to all members of the Board of Education and the Bergen Record in accordance with the provisions of the Open Public Meetings Act, Chapter 231, 1975. At this time, please make sure your volumes are down on your cell phones, and we'll go right to the superintendent.
All right, thank you. Okay, I think I have a lot tonight, so bear with me. I wanted to start with just, sharing, responding to some of the comments that were made at Monday night's meeting. I wanted to talk about, the job postings of the administrative team, and I just wanted to explain to the board a little bit of where that was coming from. It was never any intention of mine not to be transparent with anybody. I want to just share that, it started with one of the administrators retiring, and that administrator that retired just had a whole bunch of different responsibilities. And I really sat and looked at the strengths of the members of my leadership team to sort of see where they would best serve the district, and sort of started dividing up the duties. And then it just sort of made sense to have all the directors together across from the office, and to have the Washington School Administrator be someone that is able to stay in district, whereas previously it was always the Director of Special Services. So it started with it snowballed, I guess is what I'm trying to say. So it was never any intention to not be transparent. I did post for all the new positions, and then when there was changes in titles, I made those changes in titles. My feeling was that it didn't make sense to post even if we didn't post out on a website, but to post on our own website, and then have someone come visit our employment section and see all these openings, high school opening, middle school opening, Washington School opening. It just, in my opinion, also was not a good look as well. And it was not a requirement to post, as it was a change in title. So that's where I was coming from. And if it came across as not being transparent, I know sometimes, in my notes or in an email, it's hard to really explain the full meaning behind it. But I just wanted to share that. And then I wanted to share about the attorney as well. I feel like that's the same thing. You don't fully I didn't do a good job explaining exactly where that was coming from. So my experience sitting here for the last year was just the attorney would come and sit down, and he never had the opportunity to really speak up. He's so great and responsive to me, and I'm fully aware and cognizant that every time I email him and call him that the district is paying. And I do my best to do all my research, get everything in line, and then I email him and I'm like, am I correct with this? Will you confirm this? And he always gets right back to me, and if I don't know the answer, I'm unable to locate it, he does always find it for me, and he gives me a link to the site so I can do my own research and read up on it. So my feeling was just that money-wise, financially, I feel, I guess, the burden of that I'm costing the district every time I reach out to him, that to have him come to the board meeting and sit down here and not really, I can always respond later and reach out to him to get the answer if needed. However, if the board feels differently, I'm not opposed to him coming to the board meetings at all. It was just a recommendation on my end. I have the student representatives to share the notes to share, and then I'll get to the student representatives. We have a lot going on. Our first day is tomorrow. All our staff comes tomorrow. So all of our elementary schools are having welcome events for kindergarten students and new students. So tonight was Long Schools, tomorrow Smith Schools, and Franklin Schools, I believe, is next week. All the welcome letters were sent out to the parents. Today, I started using mass notifications to email the parents, so it's not fully up and running yet, but our tech department was able to help me out, and we thought it might be better to start using that so it doesn't go to the parent spam folders. We are having, just as a reminder, our one-to-one Chromebook initiative is students in grades 3 to 12. Students in grades K to 2 will each have a Chromebook in their classroom that will be on a Chromebook charging cart. So we're very excited to move forward with that. Our cases came late, but they did come, and our tech department has worked tirelessly to get everything ready to tag them and get them all ready for our students. I also want to thank the foundation, the Saddlebrook Education Foundation. They donated outdoor learning classrooms to each of our buildings. So the principals are very excited to get those and get those started. One of our initiatives this year, expanding our SEL program, is Mrs. DeBonis came up with the acronym BRIGHT, and we're sharing it with our staff tomorrow, and our elementary schools are going to have a dedicated BRIGHT period to really focus on social emotional learning activities and the 5 competencies that Castle lists. Let's see. Washington School, we are excited. We're expanding. We have 2 new classes this year, and phase 1 of the playground is complete. We are super excited about that. They are working on the best way to open it up, to have like some type of ribbon cutting or something like that for our families. Want to acknowledge Mrs. Van Eck, Erica Van Eck, our OT, one of our OTs in the district. She spearheaded this initiative as part of her doctorate program, and her school actually wants to come and record a little bit of what she's done and sort of share publicly everything that she's accomplished, because she's really done a great job with it. We had our 7th grade orientation at the middle school. The parents got to have a little bit of fun. They played a bingo game together to get to know one another. So we tried to switch it up a little bit this year. And we already met as a team to talk about how to make it better for next year as well. So we're getting excited, and we're really trying to meet after every event and talk about, while it's fresh in our heads, in our minds, how to best to improve it for the future. High school athletics. Students have been in all month for all the athletics and locker setup. We held a transfer student, oh wait, that's high school, sorry. Good luck to all our Saddlebrook High School fall sport teams as they begin their seasons. The football home opener is September 3rd. I'm really hoping I get to come. I'm dropping my son off at college September 3rd, but it's in the morning, so we'll see how long of a day it is. I'm not sure if I'll be able to make it, but I would be really excited to make it. And the rest of the teams start the week of September 5th. Please come out and support all our athletic teams. Schedules can be found on the athletics tab of the website. Teachers work to write and revise our math curriculum, our STEM curriculum, and our aviation course that we've been talking about is up and running. We have the flight simulator. It's all set up in the media center, and the drones, so we're super excited to get that started. Sorry, I know I'm talking a whole lot. We also are excited, we have cameras now. So I'm going to share out with my Board of Ed updates, with my updates to the community, how to access the cameras. It is on our website, and there are cameras on the field, on the athletic field, so people can log in. I believe you pay a small fee, a subscription to it, and then you're able to view the games. And the cameras follow the players around the field. So it's something that was really a neat initiative that we're able to offer this year. And we're still working on the cameras in the gymnasium. I lost my tab, okay. It's on the website. I'm gonna send it out when I send my updates with the, I felt like I was sending a lot of emails out, and I wanted to make sure I was as concise as possible. We are moving forward with our referendum. We will be hosting lots of community meetings. We'll be traveling around to share what our thoughts are. We'll be forming a committee. So wanted to get the school year started, and then we'll talk a lot more about the referendum that we are looking to move forward with in December. Our student reps, so we have a new policy with the student reps where we have a student that will sit here with us around the table to share and communicate with us of what's going on in the district, and then they report back to the student council. We have about approximately 10 students that have applied so far. I left the form open until the end of their first day of school to give everyone a fair chance to apply on the Google form, and then we're going to interview them as a leadership team to have one of the students join us, hopefully in time for the September board meeting. That's our goal. Our preschool orientation, they're having an orientation sessions for 3-year-olds and then one for 4-year-olds the first day of school, and then our first day is single.
Not good for me.
Sylvia's as one.
The 20th of September.
20th of September.
good. You should be here, you're the vice president.
Which is good.
President.
You're good.
It is, isn't it? Mike's pres. Right, you're the vice.
Is there Sylvia so far?
I could be here.
Just Mrs. Otterelli?
We're good. I'm good. We're
Browley?
both fine for the 20th.
Ms. Browley's good?
I am, but I would think it would be best if we could all be present.
Yeah, I could- I mean,
because it's a team effort, and we are all one.
I could get some, I get some more dates with him. I don't want to go too far into October, but I'll try to get some more dates from him. He books up pretty quick.
Want us to Skype you?
What?
Want us to Skype you?
All right, work on completing the evaluation first. That's part one. I'll work on a date. Mrs. Violetti and I will work with Matt, and I'll email you guys, and we'll try to get a date where everybody can make it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let me remove that.
You're welcome. Hold on, let me see if that was it. And I think that concludes my report for now. And just when you're giving the reports, I know you may think you're loud in your auditorium here, but we need to pick it up on the video. So everybody, I know, try if you could share or get that one from on that side. But if you'd speak into it, please. Thank you.
Okay, that's it from you? Yes. Wow. Okay. No, not me. There's a lot of stuff. Sorry. Okay, I'd like to open the meeting for public comment for agenda items only.
Motion.
Second? Okay. Anyone? Agenda items? All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, we'll close the meeting to the public for agenda comment.
Second.
All in favor? Aye. Okay. We'll move to board action B2223.1 to B2223.4.
Hold on.
Okay.
Second?
Did we say E or B? B. B? Okay.
Yeah, we have motion to, or,
You made the motion, sorry.
Yeah.
That's okay.
Okay, any discussion? Anything? Well, I can.
Please, just abstain.
Okay.
Ready?
Correct.
Okay, we're going to start with Mrs. Otterelli. Mrs. Otterelli.
Yes.
Ms. Borelli.
Yes.
Ms. Iannello.
Yes, all, but I'm going to abstain on B 2223.1, meetings July 7th and 13th. I was not there.
Mr. Laurentino.
I'm going to say yes to all, but I'm also going to abstain on 2223.1, numbers 6 to 9.
Ms. Mahoney.
Yes to all, and I'm going to abstain on 2223.1, number 6 and 7.
Mr. Shearer.
Yes to all, but I'm going to abstain from 2223.1, number 1 and 2.
Ms. Torbeck.
Yes, to all, but I'm going to abstain from B 2223.1, numbers 8 and 9.
Mr. Raccomando.
Yes to all except B2223.1, numbers 1 and 2.
Okay.
Okay, Ms. Torbeck, it's to you.
Okay, at the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items. E 2223.1 to E 2223.8.
Get a second?
Second.
Any discussion on any of these here? Okay, Mr. Carretti.
Ms. Otterelli.
Yes.
Ms. Borelli.
Yes.
Ms. Iannello.
Yes, to all, but I'm going to abstain in E 2223.1, trips 791 and 792.
Mr. Laurentino.
Yes.
Ms. Mahoney.
Yes.
Mr. Shearer.
Yes.
Ms. Torbeck.
Yes.
Mr. Raccomando.
Yes. Okay, Mr. Shear.
At the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items. F2223.1 through F223.14.
Second?
Okay, discussion. On number 10, dot 10. Those were all the ones that were approved. I mean, accepted.
Those were,
That's what was
those were the
submitted.
6 bids that I opened, and the lowest bidder is Dumont Mechanical.
Okay.
Ms. Ottarelli?
Yes to all except F2223.1. I'm going to abstain from check 61489. I'm not sure if I still have to, but just in case.
Okay. Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Ms. Ainello?
I'm going to say yes to all, except I'm going to abstain and check numbers in F2223.1. Check numbers 3425, 3811, 4063, 4201, 6134-1, 61-557.
Chris got a lot of money. Anything else?
Cha-ching.
Got a lot of money.
Mr. Lawrence?
I'm sorry, we're going to say something else.
Okay.
F22, 23.4, from the workshops, professional development, 553. That's it. Yes, everything else.
Okay. Mr. Lorenzino?
I'm going to vote yes to all, but I'm going to abstain from F2223.1, checks number 3474, 3475, 3848. And I'm also going to abstain under F2223.4, item number 2.
Okay. Ms. Mahoney?
Yes to all.
Thank you. Mr. Shear?
Yes.
Ms. Torbeck?
Yes.
Ms. Raccomando?
Yes. Okay, Mr. Lorentino.
At the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items. Approve the first reading of the following policies and regulations, P0143.2 through R2464, and approve the second reading of the following policies and regulations, R1613 through PA660.
Okay, second.
Second?
Discussion. Okay, Mr. Karati.
Ms. Ottarelli?
Yes.
Ms. Borelli?
Yes.
Ms. Ainello?
Yes.
Mr. Lorenzino?
Yes.
Ms. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Shear?
Yes.
Ms. Torbeck?
Yes.
Ms. Raccomando?
Yes. Okay, Ms. Ottarelli, negotiations.
At the recommendation of the superintendent. Oh, it's on there. Now I know. I'd like to approve the following. N2223.1 to N2223.2.
Okay, second.
Second.
Discussion.
Yes, I have a question.
Sure.
Through the chair.
Sure.
Can you tell me what the enrollment is for pre-K? Current numbers?
Okay.
A total of 70 3- and 4-year-olds is what I'm seeing in Genesis.
Okay, and the high school?
High school enrollment. 541.
Okay, I'm assuming the middle school's up around, I shouldn't assume, but somewhere in that area as well.
I will check for you. Middle school is at 258.
Okay, so 70 pre-K, which we have now, we're looking for a principal, 270 for a principal for the middle school, and then the high school has a principal / vice principal. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Karati.
Ms. Otterelli?
Yes.
Ms. Borelli?
Abstain from N22223.1, and yes to the second item on the negotiations.
I don't think I understand.
Do we do the doctrine of necessity, because there's too many of us to abstain from the JEA, whatnot? Do we do? Okay, yeah, so we did that already.
It's, no,
Ms. Ainello?
I can't vote on it. Yes? Oh, yes. It's not, it's,
Mr. Laurentino?
I'm going to vote yes on N2223.1. And although I'm going to abstain on N2223.2, I'd like to thank the members of the board who served on negotiations and got a settlement with the SBEA for 5 years. I think that's a wonderful thing, so thank you for doing that.
Ms. Mahoney?
Yes.
Mr. Shearer?
Yes.
Ms. Torvik?
yes.
Mr. Comando?
Yes. Okay, I guess I'll do Ms. Traverso's. Okay, at the recommendation of the superintendent, I make a motion to approve the following items. P2223.1 through P2223.9.
Second.
Any discussion?
Yes.
Sure.
I'm sorry.
That's okay.
Some of them I couldn't ask on Monday because I had to really thoroughly look through some of this after the conversations. Do we have a personnel committee that meets? Because I don't remember getting any minutes from it. And if not, I would like to know if we could start doing that, if possible. Because I think it's important, being that we have a committee that meets on basically all the other committees, unless I'm wrong. I know I have budget and finance. I know there's one, I would say, for education and curriculum, yes or no?
Policy.
The idea was that we were all on it, so we were just going to have
Discuss and
some
close.
of us be on it because of personnel, we all had to be part of it.
Okay, but we're not. Sorry. So maybe if we can start that all on it going forward, that would be great. If not, maybe we'll consider something as having them meet so that we are all on the same page and representatives of the board on it. I have another question. P2223.3, ID number 7. I believe. Can you explain that position for me? What this person is going to be doing?
Yes. So we've had 2 clericals out in front of the middle school, high school. One of them has resigned. We took our school safety specialist, and he is going to be, that position will be positioned at the table out here. And then we hired the part-time clerical aide to do the attendance work, and that person will be seated in the main office.
Okay, because on the draft, it has attendant/clerical aide, and then on today's agenda, it says part-time clerical aide. So is it attendant/clerical aide, or is it just clerical aide?
It's a clerical aid. So if I do attendance, I have to do an attendance budget account then. So it's a clerical aid that will be assigned attendance duties.
So they're doing attendance
Yeah, they're just
duties.
doing the clerical work, and that's one of them, the attendance.
Okay.
It's just for where to charge.
So we have a new person doing attendance duties, or is this just an addition to it?
It's not a new position, it's not
Okay.
an extra position. We reorganized. We put the school safety specialist in the front of the building, and then we have this part-time clerical aide. There's no additional salaries.
Okay, so,
Through the chair, I cringe to ask this question. Was that job posted?
Yes.
Okay.
Can I comment, Mike?
Sure, anything.
Go ahead, Vin.
I'd just like to agree with Gina on the Personnel Committee. I understand we should all be on it, but in my experience on the board is we get the agenda on, say, a Thursday or a Friday, and we really have no heads up if there's a big move coming, and we kind of, it's just the way the system's built, it's nobody's fault. So maybe if we did have a Personnel Committee that could meet, and if there's a major move, then we could let the rest of the board know prior to getting the agenda, so you can put a little bit of time into it. Because a lot of times when we get it on Monday, you have to think about it, you got till Wednesday to vote on it, and it happens kind of fast. So if we can do that, it would be great, just to give us a little more forewarning of what's going on. Thank you, that's all I have.
Through the chair.
Sure.
If I may. I agree with both of you. I'm going to say that right off the bat. The way we used to do our board meetings, we did discuss all of this in closed session on Monday nights. So if there was an issue, we had an opportunity to speak about it. We don't have that opportunity anymore. So I think this is where the issue is coming in.
Exactly what I was going to say.
Discuss all of this
Monday night.
prior to,
Our meeting tonight.
right, so when it was brought on by the new attorneys that we had a certain agenda to adhere to on Monday, we don't spend many hours in close anymore, but we're also not getting to the nuts and bolts of the personnel, I think.
I think also it would be beneficial over the summer because, as you can see, this is such a large personnel agenda that I feel it would be beneficial to have that meeting over the summer.
I prefer it all the time, if every meeting, because again, like even before discussions happen prior to them on the agenda itself or the draft agenda, it will give us some time to put some input into it and hear some reasoning. And most of the time, I'm sure everything here has got a legitimate reason for it, but just knowing ahead of time and having some input on, you know, what we're thinking to do going forward, because there have been a lot of moves, quite a bit. And I understood why, but I just would think it would be best that we talked about it before, so it wouldn't have to come to, you know.
Us just agreeing, maybe.
Yeah, so I don't know if why we stopped that, because when I was on the board prior, we did have it.
Every Monday night.
Right, and then now,
not Monday
listen,
night.
I'm all for in and out, believe me, you know me, okay? But if it's going to just briefly explain some of the rationale regarding the changes for the personnel, is there some reason why we can't do that? I mean, did the lawyer say that we couldn't do it?
Yeah, if you remember, it was both.
I wasn't here.
It was both firms. It was for a lot of time that you can't go into closed session just to go into closed session. It has to be for, there's, I can't remember if there's 8 or 9 items. School districts, it's probably 4. Attorney-client privilege, personnel, a student matter, or another hearing.
But right, that's personnel.
Right, but you can't go into personnel just as a general item. So what you have to do is you have to notify the superintendent 48 hours in advance that you want to speak about somebody. If it's just a position, right, we could go and close, talk about a position or a posting. We can do that. You're welcome to do that. But we can't go back and then start talking about a person.
But what if they're
We
not?
have to know it before Monday. We have to know that by, that's why we give the agenda on Wednesday, for you guys to look at it Wednesday, Thursday, by Friday, and we're giving a 48-hour notice for Monday's meeting.
I don't think
That's what it's for. We can go in personnel. We're
Right,
not
but what if they're
stopping
not
board
an
members
employee?
from going
What if they
personnel.
are not an employee as of yet? I understand understand if they're an employee, we need to
It's
write.
different. You could do new positions and stuff. You could go over, yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean,
That's
that's
all part of
what
it.
we're asking.
Yeah, I think
But
it's more or
again-
less to know what's going on in general.
But I know, but the only thing is for us, we work hard to get this agenda out on Wednesday. It used to be when I started here Fridays. Then you have the weekend to look at it. We give it 2 days earlier, and a lot of times we get no questions on it until Monday night. The part of it is to look at it. I know you guys are all busy, Wednesday, Thursday, but at least give us some notice, then Tony knows, because we put these on there, we discuss them Mondays, there's really no comment except for a couple the other night. So why are we going to closed session? What are we going to talk about?
Because we want to discuss it as a board, maybe.
Yeah,
Well, then you have to-
together.
Right, but then you tell us that even by Friday. Then if there's anything, like we got to write somebody or whatever, we could get it done, we can talk Monday.
So every Friday I'll have to ask.
And we'll talk to the attorney more, how we could get in there and just talk. We don't want to limit the board members from speaking, we just have to watch the staff's rights and stuff.
Honestly,
And the attorney-
that's
I
what
said,
it
both
feels
firms did
like
it.
now.
This isn't the new firm, this was the previous one that said the same thing. And, there was,
Just to chime in, maybe we could talk to the attorney, because really, if you look at the big moves come basically July, August, and then really, I don't know, I think like May and June when we do the tenures. So if we can get his opinion on maybe how we could do it, I don't know if there's much during the school year, but those time of years, it might be good for us to get together and at least talk about it at school. Even if there's no discussion on something, at least you have the opportunity, because we can't talk about it in public. And then when you see it here, you're kind of like, 'cause I had a comment in a whole business that'll come up in reference to this, but I'll say now, basically, with the positions that we did, we added them on, and the problem is, if you vote no about the position, it's got nothing to do with the person.
Correct.
But now that person's going to be offended, but it's got nothing to do with you. I'm very happy that we're recognizing good work by our own people in district and giving them rewards. But maybe if I don't agree with a position, now that person goes, well, he doesn't like me. No, it's got nothing to do with you. It's the position. At least if I had an opportunity in closed to discuss it with the board, and if I'm outvoted 8-1, then, it is what it is. But sometimes it would be good to give that input so you don't have that, it just, well, he doesn't like me, he's not voting for me. It's got nothing to do with you. It's just a position, and we can express those and have a good open discussion about personnel. So, I'm sure we can come up with something through
addition to that-
Mark's advice.
These people have already been obviously told or offered the position. What if we all voted no? Then what? It's going to embarrass people. It's going to change. So I just think, to the point of what we're saying, we need to have discussions prior to it being here.
Just through the chair, I don't think that it's that, I agree, but to just send the email on Friday and say, hey, I'd really like to talk about this position at the meeting on Monday. I think that's all that we need to do. So saying, I'd like to talk about this position or that position, or there's some people being hired and can we discuss X, Y, Z? I think that's all that's required, and then we'll be able to talk about it. So I don't think that's, I don't know, I don't think that's a terrible thing to ask.
I agree with you. It's not the person, it's the position. That's exactly what we're saying. I agree with you entirely.
Okay, so I did do that this week, and Tony was very nice enough to call me, but there wasn't enough time to rice the people to discuss it Monday. So now what? We could have done it tonight, but then we would have,
Right.
I'm just saying.
Can we put in a standard, like every meeting Monday, we'll discuss personnel?
We used to.
That's what I was going to say. Why do we have to, why can't it just be a standard? We want to discuss it.
Not a person per se,
Just
a staff, just personnel, like positions. No?
well, you guys have all been in there, and not that we, did it, but it all leads to something. It's very hard to talk about positions. So pretty much what I'm hearing is that every agenda you're going to be ricing everybody, so we can go in freely and go in there and talk about everybody. It puts everybody else on edge, but if that's the way you guys want to do it, that's one option. Because on the agenda, you rice everybody.
Every
You rice everybody who's on the agenda, so we can go and close, and if they do come up, they're riced. They have proper notice.
Every month. So it wouldn't be every month.
All right, so let's think about this other than this time of the year. And like Vinny is mentioning, in May, April, May, that time of the year. How often do we have discussed personnel changes or hiring or people leaving.
It depends how often it comes up.
We have administrators come
We
in
did
and out of
in
here.
May, we riced all the non-tenured staff and we
No,
did
I'm
just.
talking about the rest of the year. Like, I understand, like, those particular times, like, this time of the year, so we'd say meeting in the summertime so it wouldn't be so overwhelming at May, but like in October, November, December, do we have this issue often?
We don't know.
Teachers retire mid-year.
We don't know. I do know that you can give like a general rice notice. It's not, if, just a generalization throughout the year. If you're in education, that does happen. If it's something specific about a person, then obviously, yes, that person has to get a special notice in itself. But it's just the position. It's nothing about the person. Everyone that's on here, I think they're definitely well-deserved and go over and beyond. But I would just like some input prior, that's all.
Now, I have two questions.
Okay.
Okay. One, if they're on the agenda, can't we just talk about them? I mean, they're on the agenda. Doesn't that give us an opportunity without them being riced for us to discuss them? No? Okay, and then secondly, well, forget that. Never mind.
Even the position, I'm looking at the closed session resolution, the items you could, discuss. When you're talking about a position, that's really technically an open session, unless you get into the person, unless you're talking about negotiating a dollar amount for that position or something, that's closed session. But you're just talking about a position, and we should have it, we shouldn't have it, it's open. Boards have the reason attorneys tell us, boards have gotten in trouble for talking about things in closed session. You have to be, everybody talks about it, open and transparent, so we're trying to limit what we go in closed session for. But if you want to go back somehow we just got to protect everybody.
Whatever happened to
I'm not opposed to doing it. I used to like the little snacks we had in the back, but I don't want to be there for, hours, though.
Right, I do not want to be there for hours.
Like-
If anything, I'm like,
like Vinny-
move
it's like-
on.
Narrow and focus what we're talking about. Just no chit-chat, narrow focus is we're talking about it and move.
But it's like Vinny was saying, as far as like the non-tenured renewals, the tenured renewals, we used to sit in closed session and discuss why or why not they were going to or not be.
That's more in the springtime.
But we can still do that.
May
We
and June.
can still do that, right? Okay.
That we have to do.
We used
They're
to do
on
that for
tonight's
hours.
agenda, and we can discuss them now, but they're
If
not
it's
riced.
If it's a positive comment against anything that's negative, that's going to get us in trouble. And that's why they have to get riced.
I'd still like to have a full board personnel.
I
That's
think
my,
we could come up with something.
That would be
to
nice.
make you guys happy. I mean, again, we don't want to just run anything by you, but we want to make sure you guys are comfortable doing it. So we'll talk to the attorney and come up with some kind of option to review this. I'll give you a couple options. You guys could choose one of them, and that's what we do.
Okay.
And through the chair, just before we go off this topic, I mean, I think part of, at least for me, is that I can't stand when I hear about something when I'm out in the public. I mean, this is my town. I can give you an example, and I won't say what it was for, but I was getting my nails done, and the person got a phone call, and she's like, oh, and I knew exactly who she was talking about. I knew exactly what and I'm like, I didn't know that. There was position changing, there was something, and then she looks at me and says something to me, and I'm like, and I look like a moron, because I don't know what's going on, and they know. So that's the kind of stuff that makes me feel funny as a board member when I'm out, and not that I'd be talking about personnel in public, but that's not what I mean by that, but like, this person's like, oh, blah, 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 and I'm like, like, because I had no idea what was happening, and I know that sounds crazy, but, then we look like we don't know what we're doing, or that you're hiding stuff from us. It can go either way. So I think that that's part of what is being said here. So however we can figure out a way to do it legally and properly and not make anybody crazy on either side, us or you, Ray, or whatever, I think we need to kind of come with a compromise here for us to have a little bit more of this information without making it become this huge deal.
I just don't get how it's out in the public. And it is, I know it is. I've had people approach me and say, you
Well,
didn't know
I
that?
can tell you that it was a supervisor of a person, so they were in the know of what was happening because they had to be. But again, now I'm standing there like, okay, I have no idea what's going on.
Just go read Saddlebrook Moms.
Right.
Yeah, and I've been here for a long time. I agree with you. It does happen.
Yeah.
We tell employees it's not done until the board meeting.
Right.
Because we've had some where it looked like Monday they're going to get approved, and by Wednesday it's no approval. So we can't really stop somebody from telling that one person, no, don't tell anybody. And that one person tells another person. Next thing you know, it goes on social media. I mean, I don't know how you stop that before you guys, hear from Ms. Violetti.
But we should know.
I do
I
understand.
know, but
that we
I
can't
said that
stop
always goes out before. I
Yeah,
don't know.
I do.
mean,
I understand that. It's a crazy line to walk. I get that. I'm just saying if there's some way that we could be a little bit more,
Okay.
that I would appreciate it too. A little bit more informed, I would.
Yeah, we'll figure something out.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Give you some options.
Okay, Mr. Karati. We're at
Where are we
the,
at? We're voting on personnel.
Wait, I have
still
another
gotta vote to
question.
go?
do you really?
Personnel.
Well, hold on one second.
Yeah, on P2223.6.
Hold on. Yes.
Okay. Is that really a title change, or is it just an elimination of middle school? Well, we made a middle school principal, so he was the middle school, high school principal. Is it truly a title change, or are we just removing the middle school from it? Is that considered a title change? Or if we just eliminate?
Well, that's why I'm saying it gets very sticky when you.
I'm not saying it's not, I'm asking.
Our job description is actually just for principal. We don't have a separate job description for K to 6, middle school, high school, middle school, high school. It's just principal.
So then why are we even doing that? Okay.
Okay, you good, Sylv?
I think I'm good.
Okay, Mr. Karati.
Mrs. Otterelli.
Yes.
Ms. Borelli.
Yes to all, but I need to abstain from P2223.3, ID number 7. Here we go. P2223.3, ID number 11. Again with the P222.3. ID number 45 and 46. And again with the P2223.6. Abstain. I'm abstaining from them all. Did I say no? Because if I said no, I don't.
No, abstain.
I'm abstaining from them all.
And dot 6, okay.
Yes.
Okay. Yes to the rest.
Yes.
Okay. Ms. Ainello.
I'm going to say yes to most. I'm going to abstain from P2223.3, item numbers 18 and 39. I know he's rescinding on 39, but I still. And P2223.4, I'm going to abstain from number 8. In P2223.5, I'm going to abstain from number 11.
How come?
I don't know. I don't get any of it, but no. And I'm going to also abstain from P2223.6.
Okay, Mr. Laurentino.
Yes.
Ms. Mahoney.
Yes.
Ooh, on the roll. Mr. Scherer.
Yes.
Ms. Torbeck.
Yes.
Mr. Accomando.
Yes.
Okay, all passed.
Just so you know, I voted for the stipends. Make a note of that.
Okay. Okay, thank you on all that. And we'll go to committee reports. Any from Mr. Shears? Nope.
I have it, Mr. Scheer is unable to attend.
Oh, I'm sorry.
That's all right. So the Budget, Finance, and Facilities Committee met on August 17th. We discussed lots of stuff. Completed projects. There were several tile abatement projects around the schools, ceiling and lighting upgrades in 3 areas of the middle high school, HVAC upgrades in room 129, new carpet runners here in the auditorium, which look beautiful, painting of classrooms, the playground installation at Washington School, sidewalk at Smith School, concrete sections of sidewalk replaced and removed at Washington School, and a lead abatement project also at Washington School. There are several projects in progress. HVAC installation at the gyms in Franklin and Smith schools. Room 124 at the middle high school. Replacement of windows in 2 kindergarten rooms at Franklin. HVAC installation in the gym here at the middle high school. The middle high school cafeteria serving lines, and replacement of several cafeteria tables in each building. There were security reports for 2 schools from the Bergen County Prosecutor's Office, which had lots and lots and lots of information and interesting things about the foliage around the outside and things that needed to be tightened up. Custodial positions and vehicle purchases, a request from Helen Smith School for the art mosaic project to fancy up the front of the building. Finances, we talked about the tax levy and end-of-year reports. And as Mrs. Violetti mentioned, the referendum, we talked about setting up a referendum committee of members from the board and the community, the environmental application that is necessary, and the property survey. And that is my report.
Thank you so much.
Sure.
No more negotiations, right? That was final?
We won't have negotiations for years,
Okay, Vin, no more on policy or?
Yeah, we also met on August 17th at 6 p.m. All the policies that we have, we voted on this evening. So any questions or anything I'd like to discuss, we most certainly can discuss that.
What?
I said if anybody has anything they want to discuss about one of the policies, we're more than happy to discuss those now, though we've already voted on them all.
Good job of selling them. They all proved.
Listen, through the chair, just want to say I will continue to bring up dress code policy as we move along the year, just so everybody knows where we stand.
Okay, any liaison reports?
I guess I'll go.
How about, oh,
Whatever, you want to go first?
no, go ahead.
I'm quick. The Education Foundation will have their first meetings next month, so they didn't have much to tell me as of yet. And my other one is Washington School, which I think is pretty much covered under Mrs. Violetti's, because the PTO there, and they're all working together to get the playground built, so that was basically, that's it.
Okay, anybody else? Nothing, okay. Correspondence? No correspondence. Old business?
Old business?
Sure.
So I'd just like to thank the superintendent for her report. I agree with you on support you not having the attorney at the Monday meeting. I think if you have a good superintendent who can answer the questions, we have a good business administrator, I think the board's working together really well. And like tonight, we have an issue with the attorney. We can send it over. If the public has a question that they have, we need an attorney, that we can always get back to them. And we can try it for 3 or 4 months. If we find that we need that attorney on a Monday night, then I'm going to reverse my position. But for right now, I think it's worth it to give it a shot. Things are going very well. And if something does come up, Mark's been very good with us.
Okay.
So thank you, Tony, for doing that.
Thank you.
Through the chair on that subject, when we do HIBs, does he have to be present for HIBs? Okay.
Anybody else?
No, I think.
New business? Sure.
I just want to wish everyone a good school year and welcome the staff and students back and everybody. And I want to also thank everyone who worked over the summer to get our buildings ready, our custodians, our administrative staff, our administrative assistants, and everybody who's worked so hard to get everything prepared for everybody to come back. So thank you.
Thank you.
Sorry. I was just going to say the same thing as Mr. Mahoney did. I just wanted to wish everybody a great school year and that I hope it's a great one.
Okay,
That's all.
thank you. I too wanted to say something. I wanted to thank the opportunity to Miss DeBonis and Miss Violetti and Mr. Karate for inviting me to the new teacher orientation. Thank you to the 12-month staffs, like Ray was saying. They do a lot of work. The guidance counselors are doing scheduling all summer. 12-month staff, you got to put up with a lot of junk in the summer. So custodial maintenance staff did a great job with the insides of the schools. They look really good. And the curb appeal, looks really good on the outside of most of the buildings. And, keep bright-eyed and bushy-tailed throughout the years, and good luck.
Keep on trucking.
Yeah. Okay, anybody else? Okay, I'd like to open the meeting to the public.
Motion.
Second?
Mr. Van Winkle, you be very quick,
All in
okay?
favor? All in favor?
All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, 1 second, Tom. Residents are requested to state their name, address, and subject matter. In the event it appears the public comment portion of the meeting may exceed 45 minutes, the presiding officer may limit each statement made by a participant to 5-minute durations. Issues raised by the members of the public may or may not be responded to by the board. All comments will be considered and a response will be forthcoming if and when appropriate. The board asks that members of the public be courteous and mindful of the rights of the other individuals when speaking. Specifically, comments regarding students and employees of the Board of Education are discouraged and will not be responded to by the board. Students and employees have specific legal rights afforded to them by the laws of New Jersey. The board bears no responsibility, nor will it be liable for any comments made by members of the public. Members of the public should consider their comments in light of legal rights of those affected identified in their comments, and be aware that they are legally responsible and liable for their comments. So behave, fella.
Okay. Good evening, everyone. Thomas Van Winkle, 128 Lincoln Avenue, Saddlebrook. Sorry I made you read that long statement.
That's okay, buddy.
The reason why I'm up here tonight, I've been looking at this upcoming referendum in December, and it's wonderful that you guys are all trying to do what's best for the students in Saddlebrook and trying to keep our facilities in line with that mission. I just had some questions, and it's also great that you're going to be doing information sessions going forward too, so that's a wonderful thing as well. But I do have some questions about the projects upcoming, just wanted to ask, and hopefully that will be answered going forward. I jotted it down just so I wouldn't forget. My first question or concern as well is about the new middle school building with the flooding. I know where it's being built, it's in a flood zone, so I was a little bit concerned about that because you wouldn't want to build a new building and have it get flooded out. And if we get a storm like Irene or Floyd with the Saddle River, I would not want to see a beautiful building get destroyed. So I'm just was wondering what will be done to help prevent the building from being flooded, as far as what is going to be built on an elevation, as far as drainage back behind the high school. So that's my question as far as that goes. The next question I had was about like the tax impact, of course, with a referendum. I know the premise of this project is good. I've seen like why we're doing this, but I know I'm concerned about taxes being raised. So I was just wondering what could be done to mitigate that, and while still getting this new facility. What else? And I know that it said in the presentation that there's all mandates. I don't know how much funding the state, how much support from the state we'll get. So I was just wondering about that as well, or about any COVID funding, all that stuff there. Next question I had. I wanted to ask about the new gym, what I always called the new gym in the high school. I know it's auxiliary gym, but when I was a student here, it was always the new gym. I was just wondering, if we're doing this project, if that gym could be built out, like maybe extend the gym, make the gym bigger. Because I know when that second gym was built, it wasn't built to regulation varsity size. So I know I've seen I watched the June meeting. I was unable to attend, but I know he talked about like having different opportunities for athletics. So if we build that gym out to varsity size, I mean, I don't know how practical that is, but that gym could be built out to varsity size, kind of like the old gym. Maybe there'll be more opportunities for sports and if you have a varsity regulation size. So I don't know if that's possible, but I was just wondering if that could be done as part of this project. The next question I had was about the parking lot, about the high school parking lot. I know we're building this new building. I don't know how many, I don't know if we're gonna make the parking lot here bigger as part of that project as well. Just wondering like how that will work as far as the drop-offs and as far as there'll be enough parking with the seniors who park in the parking lot as far as, and the additional teachers that will be here when you have sixth grade here as well. And as well as parking during construction, how that will look like when that's going on. Next question I had, I'm sorry, it's a lot of questions. Yeah, I just wanted to I was just wondering like where, like when this new middle school building's built, will it connect to the high school? Like will there be like some kind of, I was just wondering how that will work. I was just more curious on that than anything. Let's see. Next question I wanted to ask. Only a couple more questions, I promise. I'm trying to move right through it just so we can get home in a good time. Thank you. I was wondering about the media center at Smith School. I know it's been at different spots, and I was just wondering, like, when the middle school is built and when the sixth grade is moved out of Smith School, will they take like one of the old classrooms and make that the media center? I just was curious about that, how that renovation will work. And the last couple questions I wanted to ask about Washington and Coolidge. So I'll start with Washington. I know, I was wondering if you're going to get like the bathrooms that I know said bathroom renovations in Washington. I don't know if that means that all the classrooms are going to get bathrooms or they're going to renovate the existing ones. And also even here too, while I'm thinking about it, at the high school here too, it said toilet room renovations. And I know they've done renovations in the past too. So I was just curious about all that as well. And the last question, last one I promise, is about Coolidge. I was just wondering what will be going in Coolidge School. I know it's been used as the building department for the town for many years. Also, I know in the basement they have all the broadcasting equipment for the Saddleburg TV station, so I was wondering what will be happening with all that. And that's all I have here for tonight. Thank you all so much for your time. Thank you all for all you do for the students in Saddleburg.
Okay. Thank you, Tom. And thank you, Tom, for your pictures for all of our events. Appreciate that. Okay, anybody else? Okay. I'd like to close the meeting for public comment. Could I
Motion.
Second.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Okay.
Maybe.
Okay.
Okay.
Here you go, Tom.
All right, let me make sure I got all of it. So middle school building being flooded, that was taken into consideration by the architect. It is you are mandated by the state to build several feet above ground level. I think it's 2 feet above, and then dig underneath. So there is something to that effect. There's also a drainage system put underground in the building as well. So the architect works with the state, the environmental company had to come, and they have to make sure that they're in compliance. That's actually state law, there's no getting around it. And they have a drainage system that's gonna go in the back corner as well. The tax impact, we'll be sharing specific numbers as we give these community presentations. So I don't have the specifics for you on that one. The state funding, they give you 40% of renovations when you're doing renovations, not on new buildings. So the new building, the referendum is going to be three questions. So some of those projects are going to have like the media center, that's a renovation, so we would get 40%. Whereas the creation of the new building, you do not. As far as the auxiliary gym, that new gym in the back, we did inquire about expanding it. We're unable to due to the, I don't know too much about buildings, but due to the concrete columns. Due to the way it is created, you're unable to make it any larger, but we are able to repaint the lines on the inside of the gym. So we're actually going to make it regulation size, so that way our varsity teams can play sports there. And we're going to add in some additional seating where we're able to fit it in. The parking lot, we are creating new parking spaces, a few. As it turns out right now, we actually have a lot of empty parking spaces during the school day because, as you may know, a lot of our students opt to park on the street or out front or across the street. So we're actually not at full capacity, technically. But we do have in the plan some creation of parking spots as well. I don't know what that's going to look like during construction, so that I'm unable to answer. It will be connected, so it's connected to the high school. We actually went back and forth about having a door for staff to walk through because the purpose is to keep the students completely separated. I'm pretty sure, Mr. Karate, correct me if I'm wrong, pretty sure we decided on having a door that would be available for staff with the fob, but that students would not be able to open. The media center at Smith, right now, I believe the plan was to renovate some of the classrooms that are connected and create a media center on that main floor. Washington School bathrooms, so the state requirement is that you need to have bathrooms, toilet rooms inside preschool classrooms. The classrooms upstairs, there's no toilet rooms upstairs. And there's really nice classrooms up there that we would like to utilize. So by having the toilet rooms in those classrooms, we're able to utilize it for students and having an elevator as well. So those are the mandates in order to have classes upstairs. Renovations, the toilet renovations, those are renovations of toilet rooms currently in the middle school, high school building as is. And Coolidge School, so what we discussed about Coolidge School was you need an elevator, so that's a requirement. And we spoke about it being a professional learning lab where we can host professional development sessions for staff and sort of have a state-of-the-art learning lab where it would create revenue for the district as well because we'd be hosting sessions and other districts would be able to pay for their staff to come and attend PD. We have a literacy consultant that comes every year with our, that works with our staff, so we're able to make money on that. That would be a good thing. We're also thinking about moving our tech department over to there. As you said, there is that equipment there, but that's really, it's more just so our tech department's growing and they're running out of space. They're currently in a corner of our garage. So we spoke about moving them over to create like a real tech department over at Coolidge. Thank you.
Okay, thank you so much. And thank you for your questions. And we will be meeting here, I believe, September 12th. Okay. Next board meeting, yeah, September 12th and 14th, I believe. Please.
It was late August.
Yeah, September 12th and the 14th. And with that said, have a good night. Thank you, everybody. Motion. Oh, close. Okay.
I just want to wish everyone, staff, students, administrators, a great first day and rest of the year.
Thank you. Motion to close. Second. All in favor? Opposed? Good night, everybody. Thank you so much.